Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of the Daily Bone Podcast, where we discuss all things crypto market. That includes the majors like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, meme coins, and of course, NFTs. Today, we are going to discuss the crypto market nuke. Sugar, we are going down. But where are we going from here? We're going to talk about the anime tokenomics release from yesterday. And we're going to talk about all the drama over the weekend with the Accelerate launch. AI DAO, a lot of insiders and KOLs all over the timeline, lots of talk, seeing what's going on. How's everybody's weekend? Easy, Sig, Kicks, not Kicks. Clemente, thanks for joining me. Sig, how you doing? It's been a while since we've seen you. How you feeling?
Yeah, feeling good, right? Feeling good. It was it was a good weekend. It was a very good weekend. I saw the bankless drama kick off, which I mean, right, we all know about like what happened over the weekend, and then we've gone into this like absolute bloody Monday. Let's just call it bloody Monday. Like patient zero Monday has basically been the weekend. But I think this is I don't know about you guys, but I feel like this is a buy the dip moment. I feel like everybody here is really greedy. And they all like, you know, especially Easy. He ain't leaving the casino. You think Easy's like the kind of person just to like walk out? And how many Easys are there and worse out there? I don't think any of those people are leaving the market, are going to leave the market this early into it. So we all knew that like Trump inauguration was pretty much the point, the furthest out people, like most people were looking. And I think there's more to come. I think this is a buy the dip moment, and we're going to look back in a couple of days and be like, that whole bankless thing was a nothing burger.
Yeah, for people who aren't aware, there was a DAO launch on Solana, an AI DAO basically that is going to be funding AI development. Had a ton of big names attached to it in terms of like advisors. I think Shaw was on there. The bankless guys were on there. And essentially what happened was it was launched through DAO's fund. So it's a very transparent launch of the token where different people get allocations. You see their Twitter account, you see their wallet, you see how much they bought. And essentially like the amounts that they bought like ballooned very quickly. So like people were putting in like a half a soul buy. And then when the token launched, it was like 6 figures of like value that they could potentially sell. Some people sold, some people moved their tokens. There was a ton of drama on the timeline over the weekend. Some of it completely unjustified, where a lot of people kind of got caught in the side swipe and like caught like and called out essentially for like potentially being malicious when really they weren't. But like, I mean, it shows you that there are different ways to launch things, and maybe a 250 person round isn't quite the way that we talked about this on Friday's show, and we were like, hey, we're not in it, we're funding it, hey, but we'd love to be in it. So it's interesting to see like how it works when you have these big time launches and big like liquidity infusions, and when it goes to people who are so public facing. Clemente, you're pretty in tune with the timeline. What did you see over the weekend, and what did you think about that that AI launch? I know you and Shaw have had your moments, and he was involved to an extent, but what was your overall thoughts on how that worked?
Well, as far as like how it was launched and it like people getting mad at the people that were involved, like selling, I was like, dude, these guys are like, if you're up 6 figures on 6 or 7 figures on a position overnight, which is like, it was like 1,000x, you're going to take profits. You're going to take profits. I think the DAO, which is not a DAO, by the way, it was just like a friends and family round, basically what it was, to raise funds. I think they raised 250K or whatever it was. The fact that it was zero vesting for such a limited amount of people made the performance of it way worse, because you had all these people able to dump on day one, and it harmed the price. I think it significantly harmed what this thing could have actually been. But yeah, I mean, Ray, I have other thoughts in general on, I'm just kind of mad at crypto Twitter right now, to be honest. I'm seeing a lot of people this morning coming out, a lot of bears just dunking on Twitter saying, hey, I was right, dog. What did I say? They're quote tweeting the most like vague tweets. There's quote tweeting messages of
when
like,
the sun rises in the east and sets in the west, only time will tell. And then they quote tweet it and they're like, man, I saw this dip from a mile away. I saw it from a mile away.
Honestly, the timeline recently, this whole like 3 days, you've got Beanie dancing on Kevin Rose's grave because his house burnt down. Then there was the woman whose house also burnt down in LA asking for donations, and everyone was like, "You have a CryptoPunk, you should like not be asking for money." But like lo and behold, it's actually not her
but
punk.
Signal.
And then
If a bear
It's
shits
true,
in the
though.
woods and no one's around to smell it, does that mean the price is going down? I called it.
You called it.
It's,
I know
it's
you
so
did.
wild
You did. But this
seeing-
whole sorry,
yeah.
go on, Clemente.
No, I agree with what you're saying, Signal. It's so negative right now. It's kind of wild that people are just so pissed off in general, like for no reason. Like you say, like, "Hey, it's my birthday, guys." Like, I just turned 30. They're like, "You just turned 30, you old fuck. Like, get your life together. You're trading meme coins and you're 30 years old. Get a life, bitch." I'm like, what?
I'm
Yeah, we have
putting
a
it
message-
down to the January blues. I'm putting it down to the January blues that most people in the Northern Hemisphere feel like they're fat, hungover from Christmas, back to work, and just feeling like a bit blah, because it just seems to be like all over the timeline at the moment. And it doesn't seem to be like, I don't know, I can't put my finger on it as to why everybody is just so like meh and angry at the moment. But anyway, I don't care because I know it's going to blow over, and this is a buy the dip moment.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, personally, like this morning, seeing Michael Saylor and MicroStrategy buy the top of Bitcoin and then only to see their investment drop $20 million, like that scares me. Like they're eventually going to get liquidated. I see these guys in the comments here saying Bitcoin's going to 16K. I believe that's going to happen. So just
Is this the real PO right now? I don't know.
I'm just assuming it's real PO. I'm just going to treat it that way and try to trigger them.
SDR prob won't work, to be honest.
It must be him.
For those just listening along on Spaces, we have a Pio Vincenzo commenting on YouTube that we're having some fun with here.
Nah, I'm alert.
Nah, I'm alert. Another interesting comment I saw that I wanted to shout out. Let me find it again. Was GM to the Concho King, Clemente, hitting an absolute dinger on Vector, broadcasting his play, hitting a big boy play. What made you buy Concho, and what is Concho?
So Concho, for people that don't know, is like this. So here's the full story. Bad Bunny dropped an album last week. And in this album, there was like a little pre-film that he did, and it featured like this little frog, this Puerto Rican frog named Concho. And I was sitting there watching it. I was like, oh, I need to buy this Concho frog, because I remember like Drake's Anita Max Win was interesting. It did well. And I looked it up. Nothing was launched. And I checked every single day. And then on Friday, I was in the car, and I got a notification easy from Hawk Tracker, which is a something that like basically finds smart money flowing into things. And I saw it, and it said smart money flowing into Concho. I was like, oh shit, this is the one. So I looked it up. I saw it at 50K. It was just called Hispanic Pepe. So I was like, oh, is this the right one? So I just threw in like $80 at first. And then I clicked on it. I was like, oh, it is it. I put another $300. Anyways, long story short, this thing ran to 30 mil or 35 mil overnight. So it was great. It was a great little win.
What did you get in at?
I got in at 50K.
Oh, damn. So this was a huge cook.
Yeah. And initially it ran up to like 700K or whatever. I held like 0.7% of the supply. So if I had held all of it, it would have been like 300K. But all the people that say that, you have to be mentally insane to hold something to like 25 million. I went through it, and like every single time your bag runs up to like 5, 10, 15K, you're like, oh, like I need to sell. Because when it pulls back, like you go through like these multiple 50% downturns, and you feel like shit. Because you're like, dude, I didn't sell when my bag was worth 20K, now it's worth 10. This is vaporware, and then it like runs again. So it's like a mental warfare. But I had left like a 2-sol moon bag, and then I went to bed, and then the next morning the 2-sol was worth like 10. Then I sold 50%. Then I went to play pickleball for a few hours, and it ran up another 3-4x. So it was a good win. I'm a fan of this little frog, dude. He's
This little frog right here.
Yeah, and it's basically just like Bad Bunny's album keeps doing better, and on all of his songs, you play any Bad Bunny song from his new album, and this little frog just dancing, doing his thing. So Bad Bunny's just pumping the bags, which is good.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was like a Hispanic meta last night, which was hilarious. Seeing like these devs trying to pump like Mexican memes. It was so stupid.
So we got to like, do we do like different languages now? It's like, okay, frog in French, grant, of course it's something difficult. What's frog in German?
Nice.
Yeah, it's
Frosch. That sounds like a good meme coin. So we got
Frosch.
some German frogs here. Very German looking frog. That being said, huge win. Love to see it. A lot to talk about today.
Do you still hold any of it?
yeah, I have like 4K worth still.
Nice.
Let's go.
So I don't know, dude. I'm an idiot. And then, so I did this on Vector, by the way. So Vector, I did like a public call, and somehow my ass got ranked second in the leaderboard for PNL. So I gained a bunch of followers on Vector, and they're all copy trading me now. So I bought
Time for that sweet exit liquidity, baby.
your audio is a little jacked up, but so I bought this thing called this America token.
Oh wait, when did you get in that, Clemente? When did you get into America?
I bought in at like 6 mil, but I've been DCAing down. I'm down $800 on this, but I keep DCAing down, and I've had like, so I'm broadcasting these, and then like everyone keeps copy trading me, and we're all down. So I apologize to anyone that like, yeah. So I broadcasted this, right, and you can see how many people copy trade you. 14 people tailed me into this trade.
Oh no. Oh no.
So anyways,
so now we know why the market's nuking. People are copy trading Clemente's buys. So down is up, up is down. Love to see that win. Vector is pretty cool. You can see what everyone else trades on. It's a really cool social platform for meme coin trading. If you need codes to get into Vector, head to the Bodoggos Discord. We have lots of Bodoggos who have codes. I think I have a code or two to share too. So if you want one, ask for one in the Bodoggos Discord. We have lots to talk about those. So Sig, whenever you're ready, if you want to take it away with the weather report.
Yeah, absolutely, Ray. Let's get into it. It is Monday, January 13th. Sorry, looking over that crypto roundup. The majors, they are down across the board, with Bitcoin hovering around 91K, Ethereum just under 3,100, and Solana 176. Everything's getting decimated. The leading top 100 coin was USDC, even on the day at $1. That's how bad it is. Over the past 24 hours, it was ugly, as over 430 million has been liquidated from the crypto markets over the past 12 hours. The total crypto market fell 6% to 3.1 trillion. The fear and greed index, it has fallen 20 points over the past 7 days, and we are quickly approaching fear. Is it the end? Next up, we had a huge update out of the Azuki ecosystem. NFTs are doing well because the Anime Foundation announced anime tokenomics, with over 50% of the allocation going to Azuki and the partner communities. Notable partner communities included Kaito Yappers and Hyperliquid Stakers. And then lastly, finally, we have some big news out of Moonpay this morning, as they announced the acquisition of Helio for $170 million to expand their crypto payments infrastructure. On the meme coin side, they also sponsored unicorn fart dust creator Basement Wrong after his gold and silver sponsors dropped him for embracing crypto. That is all for the weather report. It is back to you in the studio.
Excellent weather report as always, Signal. I thought the Moonpay sponsorship was really funny. Did you see that, Clemente? They sponsored Basement Ron. All of his gold and silver sponsors dropped them when he started talking about crypto. But I
like the sponsorship. I think it's a good move by Moonpay. I don't know what the sponsorship actually entails, but unicorn fart dust is it's Ron has been able to build a really big audience from this meme coin. Like, it's kind of wild, and I think it's a really smart move by Moonpay to like tap into that. As far, because Ron has a pretty large audience, and you can kind of break out of crypto Twitter a bit. So it's wild.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. Like, so he was somebody who like wasn't your typical like crypto like participant. Like he bought in through Moonpay, used I think the Phantom wallet initially. Like that's how he onboarded into the space, and I think like that's the way like many people will onboard in terms of like retail. So I think like it's the perfect partnership, because like there may be a lot of people who are interested in like who have been like historically interested in gold and silver, who are watching his videos now, and they say, okay, well, like how do I get into this? What's the easiest way? And then Moonpay jumps in and is kind of the first stop in like getting all the eyeballs during his his streams. Unicorn Fart Dust is like held up pretty well despite the market dump. You know, it had a initial retrace down to 61 million from its highs at like 250. It's back up over 180 million. It crossed almost to a new all-time high over the weekend. So great to see that.
Ray, it's really impressive seeing the Unicorn Fart Dust pump. I've been like not too excited about UFD because I'm kind of like what happens when it's basically betting on Ron, right? Like you're betting on a specific person, but like it's a definitely unique token. It might flip Fart Coin. We'll see.
Yeah, I was thinking that, Clemente. I think it could usurp Fartcoin because of this Moonpay partnership now. But I mean, it has a long ass way to go before it can do that. But you know, if you're looking in this market as what has been defensive, as this market has completely like tanked in these last 24 hours, UFD hasn't. So it's turning out to be one of the sort of like the defensive fart portfolios you can have. I don't know. It feels like this is not the top for it, and it might be around a bit longer.
Fartcoin's been bleeding too.
No.
Down only from 1.6 here.
Dude, Unicorn Fart Dust is the thing that's going to stay resilient because of a corporate partnership. What are we talking about here?
Well, everything is down on the day, Nick. Like everything, we are bleeding in the last 24 hours. And
no, I know
it's done well.
It's difficult out there. I just can't say that I think Unicorn Fart Dust is the main thing here, though.
Yeah, but when you say that, Nick, that's the time you buy, because that, like, you know, I feel like I'm getting that that puppet energy from you. Remember when he dissed the puppets for how good the art was, and then puppets went on a run? I feel like same thing might happen here.
I feel like I said that the puppets were going to run, though, because of my dislike of it. Unicorn Fart Dust, I just don't feel the same way. This one is not a fade Nick sort of trade. I hear what you're saying, though. I mean, that is a possibility. I don't.
You know what? You could be right. I don't hear the anger and like the disgust in your voice as we did with the puppet. So yeah, you could be right on this. But I'm still up on YNE. Thank you very much for that, by the way. Still doing very well.
You're still up because it was down bad yesterday. It went over 100 million, but then went down like 20%.
The chart looks really good compared to other AI coins.
I mean, Matt's I have an interview with him probably tomorrow. I'm chatting with a few other AI people as well. I'm excited to chat with him, but overall, it's actually, I just think observing what's going on there with YNE is really interesting, primarily because it's like an actual, I don't know, a legitimate company. And historically, the crypto market hasn't treated legitimate initiatives as a good thing. That said, what YNE has done well, they're 30% off the top, but the chart does look actually really good. Ray just has to use these. This is his favorite thing now at this point in terms of that chart.
It just gives you a quick look of how far it retraced without, like, you know, I don't have the eyeball to do it without. I'm still training myself.
Pull it up. Pull up Fibonacci. Well, when you divide by 100, it is easy. I will say that, Ray. But in this case, so it would be 33 because of the. But yeah, I like how this one is looking specifically. I also bought the top of Pippen, but I'm just holding that as well. I've kind of migrated all of my random tokens heavily. I'm in Pippen and I'm in YNE. And I think Pippen is fine. I'm fine with this pullback. I'm down a couple $1,000s on this, but I'm all good with that. I just think that these are what's really interesting about these is there's going to be more announcements. You have people who are great at execution. And I think Matt in specific with YNE, I tweeted about it, is just going to be good at getting the partnership side of thing going, and that leads to announcements, and announcements are just good for tokens. I mean, historically, if you look at like the ICO days and all the other like sort of startup style tokens, the thing that was always key was just partnerships and and announcements. It had nothing to do with actual deliverables, and that the market's treating this similarly, which I think is great. He's going to do a good job there. So Ray, you bought Pippen?
Yeah, I just bought some Pippen, just a little bit.
How much did you buy?
2 SOL.
All right,
Little Pippen. I like Pippen. I like that pullback. I think that, I mean, we're going to talk about the market and where we're heading, but I think we see a pullback, or sorry, a recovery from this pullback. And I think
we see a pullback.
I think we've had a pullback. It might pull back a little bit more, but I think we see a recovery. I mean, it's going to depend on some things that we're going to talk about now. But let's bridge that topic. So over the last 12 hours, $420 million is liquidated from the crypto market. We saw the total market cap fall 6% on the day. This is ahead of PPI data tomorrow and CPI data on Wednesday. That's going to provide additional data points on U.S. inflation. I read a post by Mando this morning talking about his thoughts on the state of macro. TLDR on this long-ish post, I suggest you read it if you're interested, is that he thinks that it's going to be a small period of volatility. It's going to be a great dip to buy, and we're just going higher. We're in a better spot than where we were last year, where we were at 7.5% inflation with Fed funds at 0 to 0.25%. Now inflation's down to 2.7%, and the Fed funding rate is between 4.25% and 4.5%. So he's feeling bullish, and he thinks this is going to be an opportunity to buy. I think he's a very smart person, and I want to believe this take. So I'm going to be looking over the next 2 days to DCA into positions that have retraced 60 to 75% that I feel aren't dead and could come back if we see any kind of like market push. Nick, we've seen a ton of volatility in the market. I don't know if you or Easy want to bring up some charts and kind of look for key levels that we have to hold or reach to figure out where we could potentially be going. You want to bring up some chart? You're muted, Nick.
Nick, I muted you. You had some background noise. While Nick's, yeah, okay, Nick, go ahead.
The disrespect. People may want to hear a little bit of fresh Miami, morning, the birds chirping, the cars passing by. That's something that people can enjoy. And I just think that it's a little bit offensive what you did there, if I'm being completely honest. Do you hear those birds?
They just want to hear the buttons clicking and the keys clacking. So we need Easy to be smashing his keyboard with the mic unmuted.
Yeah,
essentially.
That's probably exactly what. So my head and shoulders thesis, head, shoulders, knees, and toes, is receiving a degree of validation here. I would like to see how much further this goes. I had a support level not too far down at 89,876, but beneath that, I don't have a line down until 71,000. That said,
we'll draw a line.
If you take this, if we're going full top to this line, this would be somewhere around the level that I would be looking for. Just grab that real quick, bada boom. And so that's what I'm looking at with Bitcoin, 78K. I had said this a while ago. I'd said it when on the 9th. Sorry, I said it here. I was wondering if this was it. Sorry. So back on the end of December, I was wondering if we had seen. I'd had this moved over here. Now I've just moved it over here for convenience sake, and to continue proving myself true. Solana. This is it had a failed breakout there. Whoops. This doesn't look as good. In fact, it looks pretty awful. By the way, I'm on the daily here. If we really want to get into it, we could. It doesn't look great. It actually doesn't look awful though. Maybe we see a midday pullback here, but this is also another failed breakout. So, I mean, really, what you're looking for is, I think we've had sort of like if this is one level that you had failed breakout, I think that there's some others. I have a lot of lines on this chart. Please excuse. I don't know. I have no idea why there's so many. Like every $2 on this. This is looking like the old ETH chart that I had, which is wild.
Crazy.
Are you guys?
Well, if you have that many lines, you're going to hit one of them.
I don't know what happened.
Nick and Easy and anyone else, are you guys like? Do you monitor the S&P 500, for example, and compare?
Yes.
Okay, that's
So I
down
actually had,
4% the last week. What do you see there?
Yeah, but on that chart, the interesting thing to me, and let me share this screen here. I want to get over to my super charts. One sec. What I was looking for on the S&P, what a lot of people don't like, I guess quickly realize is that there's like gaps on the S&P where pre-market and post-market will open up, and you have these holes that trade like in the market. And many people say that like you need to fill the gaps in order for the market to move higher. So like here we had a gap fill here. So like this area, obviously. And then we did not have a gap fill fully here until right now. So I think this pullback is like healthy when you actually see it, because this gives us this gap fill, which we finally got across the board. Finally filled that range where we're opening up here. So honestly, if the S&P pushes up here on this smaller range, a couple of dollars here, I think we should be bottoming out pretty closely. My bigger concern is the DXY, which has just been an absolute pump since September, all the way up, which is pretty wild to see like a $9 rise in the dollar index. So the value of the dollar is worth a little bit more here. Same thing, NASDAQ, you had a couple gaps. S&P, same idea. Once that decides to load, a few gaps on both of those. And once you have those gap fill moments in the market, usually you can return to up only. So like this gap fill here, same idea, gap fill. And that's where I look at both of these and I'm like, okay.
The biggest thing is despite me coming down to Miami, the real alpha here is move to Canada.
Your dollar goes a long way.
That seems to be the real alpha. We're up 140 on Canadian dollars. That's wild. I don't think we're doing as well against the oh wow. No, we're not doing as well against the Great British Pound, but we're doing pretty well historically against it. It's almost used to be like $2 per GBP, and it's been down only for the Brits since then.
Used to be buy one get one free.
Take that signal?
It used to be buy one get one free. I remember it just like there was a time, you know, in yonder years where you'd go to America and you just felt like, oh man, this place is so cheap. It's like third world out here. And then now it does not feel like that at all. At all. Coffee is very expensive.
The euro, we can just buy euros. It's 1 for 1. We're back there. It took a while for that to occur. We were here back in 2022. Good thing we're going to Paris in literally a month because, yeah, it's going to be looking good. Someone in the comments says, yup, losing 90K here.
Yeah, we just lost it.
Oh, my God.
It's gone 89,871 right now. ETH lost 3K as well, 2960.
Ooh.
ETH is the biggest loser among the majors, almost down 10% now.
That chart looks terrible too. The ETH chart looks really bad.
Oh my God. We did not trade this properly, team.
Well, USDC is pumping now. Oh, no. Back to even on the day. The devs sold.
Yeah, the devs sold Bitcoin.
We're about to lose 89K. Oh man.
Well,
all right. So in other news, while we watch all of our bags go to zero, Anime Coin picks a good time to announce their tokenomics. So Azuki announced Anime coming January 2025. So that's 18 days. away is the end there. So in the next 3 weeks, we're going to see anime token. Over 50% is earmarked for community, 50.5%. Azuki community is getting 37.5%. Partner communities are getting 2%. Community cultivation is getting 13%. Notable partner communities include Hyperliquid stakers, Kaido yappers, Arbitrum communities, and anime communities, and the open anime universe. Large amount going to the public. Large amount unlocked on day one. I believe 75% of the supply is unlocked, invested on day one, which is interesting to see in terms of the unlock schedule. 7.5 billion of the 10 billion supply is unlocked on day one. I imagine this domain expansion is going to be a good amount of listings / liquidity pool for the initial unlock. So we'll see how this fares. Easy. What are your thoughts on anime token? What do you think we see here in terms of potential FDV? And are any of the Azuki ecosystem NFT collections a buy here?
I don't know if I'd buy any of the Azuki collections here. We saw someone share their price predictions recently, and it basically had Azukis at 10, Elementals at 1.5, and they didn't have beans on it. But we're over those prices. So now I'm like, okay, I'd probably not want to be a buyer of any of these personally. On the opposite side of it, 1 bill FTV, I don't think it opens up as high as PENGU. I probably think it opens up at a 50% of that target. Whatever PENGU's at, cut it in half, and that's probably what we get anime at. I guess they're two different things. Anime is bringing anime on chain. The PENGU token is the community token of Pudgy Penguins. I know Clemente was bull posting anime. I'd love to hear his thoughts as well. He basically said it's going to flip PENGU.
I said I had a tingly feeling in my balls it would, which is different than an actual prediction. So I was looking at
more confident is the difference.
Yeah. So
where does Tingly Balls fit on the scale of Clemente paper trade to Clemente actually buying?
This is a paper trade for me. I wouldn't buy. So I was looking at so it looks like the community airdrop, the community distribution. I'm right now I'm pulling up the PENGU distribution is about the same, right, Ray? What's interesting here would be the Hyperliquid side of things. I think the biggest thing, and I'm very uneducated, I found out about Arbitrum. Because for me, the big question I had is like, okay, there's an Arbitrum token, right? How does that compare to people in this like Solana ecosystem versus like the total audience you can get there? And this is like a different audience. This is like you're tapping into the Hyperliquid crowd. Arbitrum apparently is the second biggest L2 behind Base. I found out that Ape Chain is technically built using Arbitrum. So a lot of interesting stuff there. But with that, it's hard for me to make a call on where this thing debuts, right? Hyperliquid went on a monster run and they're integrating with Kaido. They're integrating with Hyperliquid. They're doing an airdrop to those stakers. So it's a completely different audience than the Solana kind of ecosystem that PENGU targeted. So I actually think that's kind of bullish for the Azuki ecosystem. The bear case on that note, though, is like, I don't know, like, it's not a meme coin. It's like kind of an infrastructure play. Like I think Azuki has some stuff up their sleeves that they're going to kind of pull. But on that note, they don't have another carrot to dangle post TGE. PENGU had Abstract, right? And they're continuing to dangle that, which caused the NFTs to continue to pump. The bear case for this is Azuki is still a 2x away from their all-time highs. And a lot of their community members have been bag holding these for so long. They spent tens of thousands of dollars on the Azuki Elementals mint last summer. And that left a set. Like, these guys have been bag holding for quite some time. So I think they might be taking some profits on like, this might be a liquidity event for a lot of holders. But all in all, like, I like the Azuki ecosystem. I think they have top 3 IP and distribution in NFTs. So we'll see how it plays out.
Yeah, just looking at the Pudgy floor. So we hit a peak around 36 pre-airdrop, and that dipped all the way down to 17, 16. So like that is like a 50% retrace. And then, like you said, they had Abstract to kind of push the price back up as we came close to 30 ETH. I think we peaked around the 28 mark, sitting at around 26 now, 23 now. So it's down a bit over the last 7 days. So without that, like you said, without that additional catalyst, I'm a little bit concerned. Also, one thing that I think helps the help the price of PENGU is the community distribution. So Azukis are getting the lion's share here, 37%. Partner communities, 2%. If you look at the PENGU distribution again, Pudgy community only got 26%. That's almost 30% less than Azuki. Other communities got 24% of this airdrop. So the distribution and like the network of people who are pushing this token is much bigger, which is interesting as well. I think I'm agreeing with Easy. Like 50% of PENGU's like current FDV is like a good starting point for Azuki. Depending on what happens. I know that a lot of those people have a lot of money and their whales are really dedicated to the ecosystem. So it's really a matter of, like Clemente said, are the whale bag holders who have been there for a long time going to be selling? Or are they going to be propping up this ecosystem at this point? So it's an interesting one. We're going to see it play out over the next couple of weeks. But I don't think anyone here is holding any Azuki assets, are they?
I'm not. I don't hold any beans or Azukis or elementals. I have some collector points or whatever, collector badges that I hope will give me the airdrop. And then I think I got some yaps on Kaido, but I don't know what that means.
I found Bobo the farmer in my wallet the other day. I didn't even know like he was sitting in there. So yeah, that's as far as it goes. But I think that's also to Clemente's point, you know, between us, we were all able to predict PENGU to a certain extent what the range would be. Like Easy's prediction has pretty much been spot on as to how low it would go and then where it potentially sits. But I think when you're not in the ecosystem and you really understand the community, I think we're underestimating how much support that Azuki will have from their like Far East communities as well, and also like other third market actors that can actually prop up that price action. I think in the short term it could do extremely well, but over like the medium to long term, I would probably bet my bets on PENGU being more successful than Anime by the end of the year. That would be my January prediction. But I think out the gate it does well.
Yeah, I mean, what's PENGU at? Right, PENGU's been bleeding. I mean, everything has.
Everything's bleeding.
Right?
Yeah.
PENGU's FDV right now is 2.5 billion. It's down to It's down to 3 cents. Can we do the little list of top 4 tokens to buy here on this dip? Can we do that little segment here?
Yeah, so we need our crypto millionaire in residence to release his top 4 picks and have the potential to 5x.
4 tokens with the 5x potential featuring Millionaire Easy Eats Bodega. Over to you.
Oh, I thought it was Nick. I thought Nick was sharing his tokens. Give me AI16Z, Griffane, and YNE.
Okay.
YNE on the 5x takes you what, 500 mil?
Yeah.
Right, so AI16Z on a 5x.
Sorry, what's the period of time on this?
At any point, it will 5x.
No. Oh, at any point this year, it will 5x.
Yes.
Okay. All of the tokens we're saying, or like, wait, can you just clarify what we're doing? Top 5 tokens. That's it.
Top 4 tokens that have the potential to 5x this year.
Oh, this year. Okay.
So Easy gave AI16Z. That's at a $1 billion market cap right now. He also said YNE that we've been talking about. That one is currently at 67. That would need to get to 335 million. And then the other 2 Easy, you went so fast that I completely forgot. Griffane. So Griffane is AI agent launchpad on Solana. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
So Griffane is sitting at a $310 million market cap. That would need to go to about 1.5 billion. We see the rebound of AI. This is an infrastructure play, and those can tend to cook. And then the 4th token, Easy.
4th token. Oh man, that's a tough one. 4th token.
So we did AI16Z, Griffane, and YNE so far. Really digging in the bag here.
Pippen.
Let's go Pippen.
You guys are all just buying these AI coins on this dip then.
I'm going to be buying AI coins.
I want to be buying the shit out of AI here.
Dude, everyone's
saying it's dead. Rotate back to animal coins. I want to buy the shit out of the AI coins.
Yeah, I'm going to bring up my my all-chain AI watch list right now on Dex Screener. We can take a look here. Everything is down. Like everything is red. Easy talked about Lily AI on a video. That's the only green token. Music, I guess, just cross green. But on the daily, you know, there's a ton of these that are down like very big. I'm gonna start, like I said, targeting coins that drop between like 65 and 70%. On this dip, some interesting things I'm looking at. Sploot, I hold some. I'm looking at potentially adding more around 2 million. That's about a 70% retrace from all-time highs. That's the AI agent by Jonah. We also have, I like Jeff by Virtuals as well at 3 million. Some of these smaller market cap plays. Top Hat, the infrastructure play, is down to 46 million. This one's super interesting. This is an AI launchpad on Solana for AI tokens. This one's like a competitor with Waifu and AI 16Z. Let's see how far we had to retrace here. So this one's coming up to the 618 here on the fibs at 46 million. I think I'm going to let these bleed maybe a little bit more. Maybe we see more uncertainty coming into PPI data tomorrow where we could potentially see a bounce, but I'm really going to be keeping a close tabs on a lot of these AI coins over the next 24, 48 hours.
Yo, some of the commenters want to know what I'm buying. I mean, what a time to be alive. I'm buying whatever Clemente's buying. Yo, shout out to you, Ways of Weighing. Blue or just Stefano, what is Clemente buying? Look, guys, I might have to reveal some of the sweet alpha I got. I like two of these plays, and I actually don't have that much exposure to it. The first one is Henlo on base. This thing's at 57 mil. It's kind of like, it hasn't been launched yet, but this like these little hamsters, we talked about it briefly, that are these AI agents that go around this track, and each race they get trained on how to do it better, right? So each time they're trying to figure out how to navigate this track, there's prizes. I think it's pretty interesting here at 57 mil. I think my average is like 50 or so, but I only put in like $1,000. The other one that I like is NFTXBT. And this is at 14 mil. Okay, maybe it's a little low for me to be shilling this hard. But this is like an AI XBT, except for NFTs. So basically what I want is for, but it hasn't been launched yet. The actual bot hasn't been launched yet. So those are the two things I would buy if anyone is curious about those. And then everything else is just like vaporware memes that I don't feel comfortable shilling.
I kind of want to jump into like that comfortability shilling for like accounts with reach in this space. If anyone was on crypto Twitter over the weekend, Waz had an interesting point where he's like, the incentives right now as a KOL on like crypto Twitter essentially push you towards doing undisclosed shills, incentive to shill low cap stuff, and incentive to be like a short-term trader that always dumps on followers, basically saying like, if you shill low cap stuff, everyone's going to call you like a pump and dump, and like, what are you doing? Like, you're moving these markets. But then if you wait to shill things that are high market cap, people can get wrecked, even though you had conviction earlier. So it incentivizes you to like, you know, be like a swing trader who is like low cap pump and dump. And it's very hard for someone like who has a following to actually share alpha without being like burned at the cross in crypto Twitter. I don't know if any of you have experienced this, because you all have like very big followings on X, and like how you like potentially deal with these type of things.
I just do the undisclosed partnerships. So that's like step one. Just fucking send it, get paid, you know, who gives a shit? We've been we've been trying to like do legit shit for 3 years, despite the incentives to do otherwise. I know a lot of people in this space, names in the space, who do undisclosed shills and just act like, you know, token X is their favorite thing. We don't really do that, but we definitely do calls on some of this low cap stuff. But that was just us degenning in the trenches with everybody else.
I think that kind of falls in like the category that's like building your brand as like a short-term trader is like incentivized, because like you kind of have that protection. You're like, okay, well, I'm shilling these trades and I'm trading in and out, and I'm not like a long-term conviction holder. So if you follow me, like, be prepared to get dumped on too.
I don't know. I literally just wrote a whole thesis on YNE at the top. It's down 35% since I wrote that post. I haven't sold
That just
any.
shows you're just kind of a piece of shit.
That's what he's saying. It's like if you do have conviction in like in something that has a large cap, and you were in YNE early, but I mean to be fair, you've been sharing YNE since it launched, which is like I think like ideal. Like you were in it early, you had conviction, you released your thesis. It's not like you're like dumping your bags at the top on people with this thesis. It's more of like, hey, I have like long-term conviction in this product, etc. But I just think it's like a tough space to navigate, especially if you're like a larger account on crypto Twitter. And we saw a lot of that with that like AI Accelerate launch over the weekend as well. I just wanted to bring that up because that was something interesting that came across my mind when Clemente was mentioning like, hey, this is a $14 million market cap coin. Is this okay to shill or not?
I mean, I wanted to talk about the Concho, the Hispanic frog, when I bought it when it was like sub 1 million. But like, if I didn't,
and why
feel
didn't you?
Because I don't want to shit. Like, I don't know how this.
It's not shilling. It's not shilling. You're articulating a buy that you have. You didn't text me about that one. I had to hop in the Discord and see that I fucking missed out on it.
Because
Thanks for that.
I don't know, but it's so hard.
You're turning into easy. The exact same thing. You got both are doing the exact same thing. We get none of the tips. None of the tips come our way.
Tip. It's not a tip. It's just like I made a buy. I'm like,
I got to follow you on Vector. Which I did last night.
Okay, you want to know my next one? You want to know my next one that I'm down horrible on, but I'm still buying more? I'm buying this America coin. I'm buying this America.
I saw you doing that on Vector, dude.
And I'm down bad on it. I'm down. I put in $1,200. I'm down $700. But
you've been steadily sizing up your bets to a degree which feels slightly unreasonable. You made, how much did you make on Concho?
Concho, I'm up 14K on.
Yeah, that's what, okay. So what Vector says is what you have. So you're up 14K and you make 14K and I'm watching you literally give it right back to the house. Like you're just going and buying 16 freaking tokens with the money that you just made. Here's a tip. Put the money in your bank account, part of it, and go reset back to where you were at, dude. Like
you want a tip? I'll give you a tip. I'll give you a tip. How about that? I'll show you my tip. You keep talking like that. Okay.
I think you're falling into this. I think you're falling into this exact trap that Waz lays out here. He's like, hey, when I shill a coin, like I generate unreasonable conviction in the thesis, and I don't want to let people down or deceive them. So I tend to like when the trend changes, you're resistant to changing, your bias due to that peer pressure, end up taking it to the grave so many times. Like, are you doing that right now with America?
Well, America, I'm down on. I'm not gonna sell when I'm riding this shit, dog. I'm right. No, but I feel comfortable doing like above 30 mil. Like that's what I did with LLM.
Above 30?
Yeah.
What are you talking about, dude?
Why not? Can I talk about? Okay, so Nick, on what you said about.
So you're waiting to promote Concho until it tops out?
No, and I wouldn't be promoting it. I wouldn't be promoting it. Basically, like talking about how I got it. Like I wouldn't be shilling it. I didn't shill.
Dude, post every trade. That's the rule of thumb. Post every trade, share it, say why you bought it, give yourself accountability, and either win or lose with that particular thing. That would be the first thing. There's nothing wrong with doing that on Twitter.
You can also take it one step further and post like where your stop loss and take profit is. Like, where am I going to sell this and where am I going to cut the loss? And then everyone's just kind of like, cool. Like, you at least told us. Like, and if it goes higher, they shit on you. If it goes lower, you at least have an out.
Yeah, you tend to do that, which I really appreciate, especially like in the Vidalgo's Discord, and you do it on Twitter as well. I feel like that's good, but I feel like my thesis on things changes too, and I feel like I'd be like yelled at if I just like dump the bag if the thesis changes without like notifying of like a profit, like a stop loss change or a take profit change. But I do think that's like probably the most like accountable way you can do things is like not only post entry but post exit at the same time, because sometimes selling is like the hardest part of the trade, and when you can give insight on that as well, I think that's super valuable for anyone who's following you.
Clemente is going to take all of his gains and ride them down to zero. Is his current strategy right now? Which I mean, dude,
Well, my strategy
You
has
do
changed.
Mew.
Nick, I was buying probably 30 to 40 tickers a day at like and they were sub 500K, and I was losing on most of them. Now I buy things over the Concho one was a different play that I just got early on, but I bought MLG at 8 mil and that worked out. And I held it for a week. I bought $1,000 that it worked out. LLM, I'm buying 3 or 4 SOL on something that I'm holding for a couple of days. That's been working way better for me than putting in 0.5 SOL, which is less size, on like these quick scalps that I'm trying to get like a 20x on, because those are way riskier. So, but yeah, I have been sizing in, Nick. The America one was too much. I will agree on, but yeah, I would rather buy like Pippen or whatever it is. I'd rather buy $1,000 of Pippen, Nick, than 0.5 SOL of an AI play under 300K.
See this chart?
I bought. Yeah, you almost ticked the bottom. I bought. I bought $5,000 of Pippen at least. I'm in for 6,000, 6, 7, 8,000 of YNE. So I'm doing the same thing, and I'm just holding. Like, I'm basically taking all my meme coin bags and I'm consolidating them down to things that I have some thesis on, and seeing can I get the 5, 10x. I mean, I was up 5x on this weekend on YNE before it dumped. Yeah, I was up to like 25K on that. It's now down. I haven't sold any of it. I'm still set. I still hold my target for it. I just think it would be so sick. I mean, you're kind of shooting for like your whiff is what you're trying to get. Yeah. I mean, whiff I actually sold because I only had a little bit. But like a lot of those older, like whiff is an older meme. People are in the replies when I tweeted this yesterday or the day before about how like the attention has shifted to like new narratives. But whiff has pulled back. I mean, damn, look at that like pullback from 4.4 to it's almost down 75% from its most recent pump. Although it almost looks tasty at this at this price, I'm almost like, okay, shit, I should actually size into this. There are very few people keep referring Giga. Like, how's that one doing?
That's
They were
on
saying
that's one, I'm looking at that today because that's on a mega pullback over the last 24 hours, or at least it was.
So yeah, Nick, I agree with what you're saying. I think I was talking about this with someone over the weekend that like Murad's thesis in general was spot on about the meme coin super cycle and all of that. But the problem is I think he picked a lot of his picks were maybe too early. Like, I have no interest in buying someone else's bag at like 500 mil. When there's so many different options in that category, there's so many meme options. There's Popcat, there's Flog, there's Whiff, there's Giga, there's all of these, and it's so hard to pick which one's going to go up over time, especially when all of the attention is going to like these AI plays that could be a lot more interesting. So you don't know what these like where these are going to go, but maybe there's a really good buy opportunity.
So the question is, do we get like, can any of these become like Doge? It like, does the Solana meme coin space generate Doge like outcomes? Because that's basically what you're betting on with these sorts of things. With Giga, with Whiff, with his SPX 6900, whatever thing that is. Like, which is his own created meme. Is that his? Did Murad create that?
He didn't create any of these.
The SPX one?
No, I mean that's just like maybe his favorite.
Yeah, but he like posted this super early. And it was just like a random one. So he might as well have created it.
Somewhere here.
I feel like it's like Came Money and Mog.
When was Breakpoint? When was Solana Breakpoint? Because that's essentially when he started this like shill with that presentation. Was that October?
In Singapore?
Yeah.
Oh, that was before October. That was oh no, maybe it was September.
Yeah, so like right around here, like at 58
Oh no, it was
million.
around Halloween actually. I think so. Yeah, October.
Yeah, so during this run up here.
Nick, I agree with your thesis there about trying to find the Doge or the whiff, but I feel like with those tickers, they've been through a test of time, and they went through a bear market where so many teams like either went bankrupt or basically got rid of everyone. The AI tokens haven't had that bear period where they've been really tested, and I think that needs to happen in order to identify which is the Doge and which is the whiff, because then you're going to see which of the teams carry on building and which are the teams which are just like, yeah, it was good, it was fun, I'm out. And I think that's really hard to do right now because there's so much noise and you can't really identify which of the teams are actually legitimate and which of the teams are just riding the AI narrative and are cooking something up really quickly to just basically ride this wave. So I think like to really get the right answer, you need like a period of where these tokens have to actually be resilient. And the team's like, yeah, we went down to like, I don't know, sub 5 million or sub 1 million, and we carried on building. That hasn't happened yet. And I think you can't get your whiff or your Doge or any of that until you see that.
Did Pepe really run to 12 billion?
Did.
Pepe is a big one. Mog's a big one. I mean, you're looking at the ETH meme coins, which do generally have higher market caps. Check out the Bitcoin price action. We're almost back up at 92,000, 92K here. What a run. What a turnaround here.
So that's why Pippen's up 15% on the buy. So first Sol.
This is absolutely incroyable. Incroyable. That's how you say incredible in French.
Two nice
Let me
hourly
just show you real
candles.
quick. Let me just pull up the Bitcoin for you here, right here. I mean, look at that. Look at that candle. Incroyable, the candle that we're looking at here. This may not be so hot though. Maybe a little retest of this range. It's been just hovering in this range, trying to get for a breakout, got rejected. So we'll have to see if 92K. Between 89,876 and 92K. These are my two lines. In fact, these two candles, very interesting. Tried to break below, rejected, but it's literally right on that line, which is pretty wild. So yeah, we'll have to see if it can break back above 92. You know, maybe this was a failed rejection. You got the news circulating about Michael Saylor's Bitcoin buy, which averaged 95K. That's gotta hurt when it's at 90K. But
lost a cool 22 mil on that buy already.
22 million.
Down 22 million on that buy. They bought like 250 some million at 95K average or something. As of this morning, it was down like $22 million. That specific purchase.
Tell me one shitcoin got sponsored. So AAA, first learn English. Okay. And this is ridiculous, dude. Tell me one shitcoin that got sponsored as big as Moonpay UFD. Doge founder bought, Basie founder bought, FaZe Banks bought. How big is your bag of UFD? Post it in the comments. Because that, like, what sort of, you just out here pumping it. It's hilarious. Like, dude, people like go and just buy each of these tokens, and then it's like, he says too big. There we go. So you got like $50 in there.
Are you a new listener? Are you a commenter? You're poor. Get out of here.
He's not a new listener. AAA is an OG. We've worked with him.
I love it.
Yo, if you worked with us in the past, fuck you, broke ass.
Yeah, if you're an OG, get the fuck out of here.
Oh
I mean,
oh my gosh.
It says we've worked with.
Am I the only one for whom Easy's mic like doesn't work?
It's been in and out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been out today. I just ordered a new one. I'll have a new one at 5 p.m. Eastern time today.
Love
You didn't
it.
want to use the solution we sent you?
I can't figure out where I put my Rode mic, so I ordered a Shure.
Maybe it's called a Shure, actually.
Shuriken.
Cousin of
No, it's not.
Shuriken.
No,
No.
yeah, cousin of Shuriken. The highest quality Telegram.
All right, you know what,
Bishop.
Antoine Algian? Get out of here. OG, get the fuck out of here.
Okay, are we done here? Is there another subject we want to cover, or are we good?
There's a million subjects to cover, but it's already 10:07, so that's going to do it for today's show.
Bishop M, real quick, I just want to say, he said the new segment for 2025, Attack the Audience, is going great. Shut your fucking mouth, Bishop. Okay, back to you, Ray.
Thank you all for listening. You can catch us on all major podcasting platforms, including Spotify, Apple. You can watch us on YouTube. We do the show Monday through Friday, 5 days a week, 9 a.m. Eastern time. We'll catch you tomorrow. Have a wonderful Monday.